the hardest house to buy is going to be your first house. Please don't
Right.
make it, difficult by
Right.
setting the bar that high.
Sharing with real estate agents how to grill loan officers. This
Setting expectations, there's maybe.
And we all know rate is important, right? Because that is a part of the calculation, but is that the only thing? So, hey, everybody, welcome to the Renown Mortgage podcast. I almost said happy Tuesday. We are excited that you are all here. I am your host, Sean.
And I'm Justice.
And we are just excited that you guys are here today. We got a really good topic that we want to talk about today. But first of all, if you would help us out, do all the things. You like, share, subscribe, get those notifications so that you know that we know that you know what's going on when Renown Mortgage podcast come on. And also check out our podcast, Rise by Renown. Really having a lot of fun with that right now. Just a lot of great things to learn, know, and share. But Justice, how are you doing? How are things?
Doing great. The market's in a good mood in the
Yeah.
last 24 hours. We're seeing a little bit kind of calm and subside with some
Yes.
things globally. So we'll just kind of see how that continues to play out. It's a day by day thing, but
It is.
we're in the green so far today. So
Yeah.
let's see if we can keep it that way.
Today's a good day, right? Today's a good day. Well, hey, I've got a topic beings that now people are considering, hey, it's this might, be my time to move off the line. I talk to people a lot who they say they've been saving forever. The difficulty is, saving 20%. So what is some of the mythos around this number that we've built at 20% to have a down payment that, some people feel like they may never actually even get there?
I think it's a great conversation that I have with first time home buyers all the time. It's wild to me as long as I've been doing mortgages since 2012 that like the expectation, is still 20% down.
Right.
People feel like they got to hit that number. And I think what's so interesting is once you dive in and we look, there are so many better options,
Totally.
uh, or there are so many other options to consider that are less than 20% down. And I think for most 20% is like, the hardest house to buy is going to be your first house. Please don't
Right.
make it, difficult by
Right.
setting the bar that high
Right.
right out the gate as a first
Right.
time home buyer. I think
Yeah.
that a small percentage of people achieve that. And I think even just thinking about it from an investment perspective, like you are not going to be able to save your way to outpace appreciation in the long run. So being able to get into your first house, that's the most difficult house you're going to buy.
Right.
And then let the market build
Right.
equity for you over time. Your second, third, or fourth house, you'll have 20% or more to put down, and that'll be great. But get in the game, and I think that is really the message that I like to have with home buyers that have that expectation that they need
Yeah.
to come up with 20%.
So walk me a little bit through the process. Your expertise in this area. I know you thought you expressed to me before that there are some other options as well. But when someone does qualify for down payment assistance, what does that look like? Kind of walk me through that a little bit.
So down payment assistance most of the time is through either your state or local municipalities. You also have there's some national programs that are out there. Really, there's, hundreds, if not thousands of these programs across the country. And most of them work where they'll give you the funds for your minimum down payment investment. So with like a conventional loan, that would be 3% down. With an FHA loan, that's going to be 3.5% down. So that's the amount that the programs actually are covered that you'll get, and usually it's in the form of a loan. Now that loan, the terms may change. Very commonly, like in the state of Washington, one of the most common programs with the Washington State Housing Finance Commission, they charge you 0% interest and no payment. So it's what's known as like a silent second lien. So it's a loan that's on the property that if you ever refinance the loan, you ever sell the property, you're going to have to pay that off, but you're not actually paying for it, monthly.
Right. Right. So there are options that kind of maybe don't get as voiced as much. Like people just don't know. Have you had to walk some families through? I mean, maybe they don't necessarily have the 20%, and so they just we're sorry, there's just nothing we can do. And you've been able to come in and be like, no, that's actually not the case. Like, what does that look like?
So, really, it comes to, actually just helping families understand what their options actually are at the
Yeah.
end of the day. And
Yeah.
I'd say that, we to kind of go back to last week, we talk about things that you can control and things that you
Right.
can't.
Right.
A lot of times there are things that you can control, as like there are down payment assistance programs with as little as zero money down payment. And in today's current market, if we get one of the programs to cover zero, the down payment, so you don't have to come out of pocket with that. And then we also have the seller covering your closing costs. You might be out of pocket with nothing, or maybe a couple of $1,000s with inspection fees and maybe
Right.
appraisal fee or something
Right.
along those lines.
Right.
So in short, like it becomes very, very doable. Now, at the same time, there's a big stretch between 0% and 20%. So it's like maybe you can't come up to 20%, but you do have funds for a 3% down payment or 5% or 10%. There are multiple different options across those spectrums that we actually can review with you to help you to understand, where we kind of come from a mortgage planning standpoint is helping you to understand what the options are. What from a budget perspective, where is that going to be most ideal? And then also like out of pocket. For a lot of first time home buyers, I would say 3% to 5% for some form or fashion is way more doable than people
Right.
think. And
Right.
I'd say if it's not you coming out of funds, maybe it's a family member that's gifting money. And I'll add one little note here that I like to share with first time home buyers that, you know, a lot of times people feel like they're making a huge inconvenience by asking family to contribute, and what they don't understand is that, and because I've been a part of hundreds of these transactions, family loves actually is so delighted to be a part of a very important
Right.
thing in your life. If you
So
put
good.
yourself like you've got your child that's buying a home, let's just
Yeah.
say, and that child is like, hey, this is a really important time in my life. This is a very momentous occasion, and I get to actually tie myself to that event.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be meaningful to get them to help to accomplish something that's so meaningful. Like a lot of times people are thrilled to be able to be
Yeah.
a part of that.
That's
Obviously, if
amazing.
they have the ability, but I'd say it's a mindset shift for many where they're like, "Oh, it's not actually begging someone for money and like, oh, I gotta go grovel at their feet or grovel
Right.
at their feet."
Right.
But they're like, "Oh my gosh, you would let me be a part of this
Yeah.
place in your journey, this a part of your story." And I just find that's a pretty cool thing as a part of what I get to do is like, watching families kind of get to help each other out and purchase their first home. It's pretty cool.
That's absolutely amazing. No, that's beautiful, and we love being a part of those journeys. I think 3% is a long way from 20. So a lot of these journeys are more doable, and the possibility of being able to crest the doorway of your own home is more in reach than you realize. So that is amazing. Thank you so much for. I love it. You even shared that story. So hey. We are here every single week. If there is a way that we can help you with one of the most amazing journeys of cresting your own doorway, go ahead and comment below, or don't be afraid to just reach out and just have a conversation. We are here for you. So until next week, I'm Sean.
And I'm Justice.
We'll see you then.